So I know you have explored a lot.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I know you have tattoos. I know you like chilling around.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I know you like listening to music.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
And I know you must have dated a good number of years in the past.
Yes.
So tell me about relationship. Exactly. So if you were to advise a young man or a young lady who is wanting to venture into business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like buying and selling the way you commonly say buy and sell.
Would I say there is God? Who is God? What is God? Where is God? By feminism, we are all equal and all of that. And then
You want to apply in your home.
you want to
Yeah, but you want
to apply in your home. Yes, the man is feeling like, hey, this woman is challenging my authority. Blindly embracing any ideology is very dangerous. Always look at your context, understand your context.
Do you think there's a difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur?
Definitely.
Okay.
There is absolutely a difference between a business.
Greetings people, salut, how una dey? Welcome back to another episode on this channel. If you are a fervent follower, you'll have noticed that there's a new segment on the channel where I go around, I get to meet young Cameroonian, innovative, impactful leaders. Today on the show, I present to you our guest, Emmanuel Takor. He is a certified international customer service professional, a businessman, a writer, and presently undergoing full stack web application development. So before I go further, I'm going to crown my guest. As you can see, I'm an Afrocentric man. I crown him king.
Thank you.
So welcome on the show, brother.
Well, thank you, sir.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I've been following you on social media. Your write-ups are very powerful, I must say. And
thank you.
So I've just given a brief introduction what I know about you.
Yeah.
So it's time for you to tell our viewers, who is Emmanuel?
If we're talking of professionally, Emmanuel Takor is a businessman.
Okay.
Prior to going into business, I was a customer service representative. I worked at MTN Cameroon.
Okay.
And then by training, I am a certified international customer service professional.
Okay.
And then presently, I am undergoing another training in full stack web application development at the 7th Academy in Bali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here in Douala?
Yes, here in Douala.
Okay.
I think essentially that's it.
Okay. I'm so much interested in the business part of it because one of my greatest focus now is business, leadership, and impact. Because I believe that, and the right mindset.
Yeah.
I believe that those are the areas where Africans, especially young Africans, need to focus to be able to make that change. So I would like to know more about that business. I like the way you put it, businessman. Many people say entrepreneur. Do you think there's a difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur?
Definitely.
Okay.
There is absolutely a difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I don't know, for some reason, in this Anglophone generation in Cameroon, the term entrepreneur is being romanticized. I find that a lot of people, and there are many people on social media who are actually business people who are calling themselves entrepreneurs. I don't know, maybe for some reason they've been made to believe that if you are a business person, you are lesser than an entrepreneur. That an entrepreneur is the right way. You're not supposed to. The business is for people who are not educated. Business is for people who are poor, who are struggling.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship is for wealthy people who have good profiles on social media and all of that, which is actually a misconception because business essentially just has to do with ventures. Yes. The same way as entrepreneurship has to do with ventures. But with entrepreneurship, the difference is the main difference between entrepreneurship and business is the entrepreneur, his initiatives are more focused on solving a problem.
Yes.
His initiatives are more focused on solving a problem. There is a particular problem he is solving.
Exactly.
Equally, the businessman is equally solving the problem because with business, if you're not solving a problem, you are not exactly going to really excel.
Exactly.
You are not going to go far with your business if you're not solving a pertinent, a pinching problem, a problem which is really felt by the people in that particular jurisdiction where you're doing business.
Okay.
But the entrepreneur is more of a person who is solving problems. He's more focused on solving problems.
Okay.
He's more focused on. It's not just all about profit.
Yes.
He's more focused on solving a problem. He's more original.
Yes.
It's not all about copying and all of that.
Yes.
He's more focused on solving a problem. He's more original and all of that. The businessman, for instance, might see another person doing business and it's moving, and the next day he starts his own business with that same line. He's not thinking about what problem am I solving. He's just thinking, it's working for this person. It probably work for me. So in a way, I understand these people because the entrepreneur is a more refined version of the businessman.
Okay.
So I understand why a lot of people tend to call themselves entrepreneurs rather than business people. But I think it does not make you any less of a person. It just has to do with an understanding of what exactly you're doing. Exactly. I call myself a businessman because I'm actually a businessman.
Okay.
It does not take anything from me. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think in Cameroon specifically, if we are talking about money,
yes,
I can dare say that business people make far more in Cameroon on average. If we are looking at the totality of business people in Cameroon,
yes,
we are taking the complete set of business people and the complete set of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Averagely, the businessman makes more money in Cameroon. Why? Because first of all, the ecosystem on its own is more open for business people than for entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs, you do your business, maybe you create a business, you register and all of that. At the end of the day, you have to pay some kind of wild taxes. While the businessman, for instance, he does not have those kind of eyes on him, those kind of expectations and all on him. You see, you can even have your house in the quartier. You have your small shop in front and you're doing your business.
Yes.
You see, you don't have to pay all these hefty taxes and all of that. Yes, and all that. All these inconveniences, you don't face them. And you're doing good. And I definitely think that business is something Cameroonians should exploit more. They should explore more of it. Why am I saying this? Because Nigerians, I come from Tiko.
Yes.
Nigerians in Tiko, Nigerians are some of the richest people. And what do? Business. You see, in the same country and the same economy where the average Cameroonian is complaining that there are no jobs, there are no opportunities. A foreigner is leaving his own country, coming to your country with all the other disadvantages that he faces as a foreigner because they have to pay a resident permit,
yes,
and there are a whole lot of inconveniences they go through. For instance, some of them are usually they face some kind of bias discrimination. Even with all that, they are still doing business in your country and they are doing well. The majority of them are doing well, they are excelling, and you're saying there are no opportunities, there are no opportunities in that country. It just means that probably you're not thinking deep enough. Exactly. You're not exploring deep enough. I think we should keep our minds open. We've been made to believe that business is for people who are uneducated, business is for people who are not smart and all of that. I dare encourage the Cameroonian to think that business is not any of that.
Like buying and selling.
It's just buying and selling. It's just about understanding the economics of that. It's just about at a basic level, this is how business works. Now I will explain from my own experience.
Yes.
In Tiko, for instance, they don't produce all these rubber stuff, all these kitchen stuff, because I deal mostly with these kitchen stuff. Okay. Pots, gas cookers, yes, plates and all of that, breakable plates. They don't make breakable plates in Tiko and all of that. They have a pot there at Tiko, not actually an established or big pot, just some kind of, I call them boats rather. Yeah. They come there to Tiko. Sometimes they come with goods from Nigeria. Exactly. But not really, most often. Most goods don't come that way. They either come from this Douala and all of that. Yes. Now, we who are doing business in Tiko, we leave Tiko to come and buy from Douala. Yes. We come and buy stuff which the average customer in Tiko needs and comes to the market to look for. So when I, as a businessman in Tiko, I leave Tiko to come to Douala to buy stuff from my shop and then carry them to Tiko, I am solving a problem for the business, for the people in Tiko who come to the market to buy. I am solving a problem of distance.
Exactly.
They don't have to come to Douala to come and buy their stuff. They can just come to the market, they buy their stuff at ease. I am solving them that inconvenience.
Yes.
You see. So essentially it's a problem, it's a perceived problem that I'm solving. It's an actual problem that people are facing in Siko that I'm solving. If there were no business people in Siko, people would have had to leave Siko to come and buy from Douala.
Exactly.
But since I and other business people are in Siko, we cover that distance for them. We cover the inconvenience and all of that for them. They just have to come to the market and buy, and then that's where we make our profit. Because normally I cannot leave Siko to come to Douala and buy, and then you're coming to buy at the same price. I paid my transport, I invested my time, I invested resources. Obviously you have to compensate me for all of that. So that's it. At the end of the day, when you're doing business as a businessman, you take all of that into consideration to balance your books, you calculate all of that, you do the accounting of it. You look at how much you're paying for your shop, how much you're paying for transport, how much you bought your goods and all of that. You calculate all of it. You put you sell these things at a price that you are able to settle all these bills and then make profit. So that's essentially business. That's just it in simple terms.
Okay. Wow. Guys, I hope you are learning something. We need to raise our voice because it's very noisy around us, and we want you to get what we're hearing, because trust me, this is an overflow of knowledge that everyone, young person out there, even the elderly watching this, could learn something from. I will start by asking you, how did you raise capital for your business?
How did I raise capital for my business? My own case is a little bit special because I actually come from a business family.
Oh, okay.
I actually come from a business family. My father was a businessman. As a child, he brought us up in business.
Okay.
Yeah. I have uncles, I have aunties who are into business.
Okay.
So it's already a special case. It's not the case of the average Cameroonian.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll come to the case of the average Cameroonian because I think my own case is a little bit special. That already it gives me an advantage over the average Cameroonian, because already I don't have to deal with a lot of the things they have to deal with.
Yeah.
I already have an ecosystem around me. An ecosystem of people who can give me advice, who can support me, and who understand how business works.
Yes.
They can guide me and tell me, okay, this is how you are supposed to do, this is who to meet if you have this problem with taxes, this is who to meet if you have this issue, this is who to meet. It solves a whole lot of problems for me. And then equally, growing up from coming from a business background and from a father who is a businessman, that mentality of that business mindset and mentality was already inculcated in me right from childhood.
Okay.
My father brought us up in business, so it's already a special case.
Okay.
For my own particular case is a special case. And then coming to the case of capital, how I actually raised my capital before going fully into business was that I worked at, as I said earlier, I worked at MTN.
Okay.
So that's primarily how I raised my capital. But even before that, I was doing business, but I was not really fully engaged in business. It was after I left MTN that I decided to become fully engaged in business. My mindset at that particular time was that, okay, you've already explored this area of working under someone. You've worked at MTN is a multinational company, it's a well-respected company in Africa, not just the country. Yeah, so I felt that, okay, you've explored that area, you come from a business family, you're a businessman by upbringing, you should explore more of this other area. It will give you a balanced perspective if in any case you decide to take business to a really high scale tomorrow. At least you've explored this area of working under a big company. Is good you explore having something of your own to gain some experience in that area also. So that's primarily how I fully decided to go into business. So that's just it.
Okay. And I would like to ask you, definitely in every area of business, or area of life, there are always challenges, there are always difficulties. So you've explained how you grew up already in an ecosystem of business because your father was a businessman. But I'm very certain that does not take away some other difficulties that you might have faced that he never faced, or that he never trained you towards. So what are the difficulties that you have faced in Cameroon as a young businessman in Cameroon, and how have you navigated through them? And what is the advice that you give some young persons Because I see it on Facebook, on Instagram every day. Somebody says, I have 500K, I want to start a business. Which advice, and they're asking for advice on random strangers on Facebook. So I believe that like somebody who is into business, you can be in a better position to share the difficulties you have faced and how you have navigated through them, and maybe end by giving advice to young persons who have maybe a capital of 100, 200, 300 or 500K and want to start a business. So what are the challenges first of all?
Okay, for the challenges, first and foremost, my father's line of business, the line of business my father brought us up in, is not the line of business I decided to go into.
Okay.
My father's line of business, I think it has more, if we're talking of gain, profit, it has far more profit.
What was
it? It was into all these motors of vehicles, not spare parts. This paints that they used to paint vehicles, the gas that they used to repair vehicles, all this stuff that they use for vehicles. He was into that, and that trust me, there is a whole lot of money in that. I decided not to go into that primarily because I felt I did not have the kind of resource it would take. My brother, to enter into that line of business, you need millions. You need serious millions. My father had a contract with this Seigneurie. I think that's how they. I believe that's how they. Seigneurie. Yeah. So he was a renowned businessman in Siko. Those of blessed memory now. That's what I talk of him as well.
So rest in perfect peace.
Amen. He deserves to rest in peace. He did a great job raising us up. So I felt that I did not have that kind of resource, the kind of resources that my father had. He was a rich man, he was a very rich man. So I felt that no, I did not have that kind of resource. And besides, equally, if I'm going fully into business, it will not be wise to of course I could pull some strings here and there to raise some capital, some acceptable capital to go into that line of business. Yes. But I felt that if you're still getting fully into business, it will not be wise to go into something which is really demanding, which demands a whole lot of money. It will be wise to start from somewhere, gradually grow, and then maybe with time you can go into something which is really demanding as what he was doing, because his own line of business, it costs a whole lot, and you really need to have a whole lot of connections. Because, for example, he was dealing in paints. Some of these paints, when they stay for a particular period of time, they get back. And believe me, they cost. Imagine you're buying this paint to come and put in your shop, and you don't have the requisite connections, the requisite people who know you and are coming to patronize you, buy from your shop and all of that. At the end of the day, you will be operating on losses. Yes. So all these things too, I felt that I really needed to understand certain things about his line of business before going into it. So I felt that was definitely not something I wanted to explore.
So what are the challenges you faced in yours?
I would say first and foremost, leaving Siko to come and buy from Douala is one of the biggest challenges, because you have to transport these goods.
Yes.
You have to transport these goods you have to transport these goods from Douala to Siko. Sometimes if you're not careful, if you're not attentive, Douala is a very crazy place. Douala is a wild place. If you even lose focus, just about 2 minutes, people here are sharp, people here are hustlers. If you even lose focus in just about 1-2 minutes, somebody has already disappeared with the stuff you bought. Yeah, so that's one of the
insecurity also.
Yes. So you definitely have to be sharp, and then you have to be watchful, and then to transport. Imagine you go to buy, and then you buy a whole lot of stuff. To transport these stuff from where you buy, because we usually buy at Aqua, sometimes at Bopi, and then you have to transport these stuffs to Douala, to Siko, sorry. Of course, an easier option would be to come with a car. To just come and buy. Yes, to come with the car and buy. But now imagine this. If you take this into consideration, if you come with your own car, the traffic alone that you have to deal with. The only reason why most often I can come to Douala and buy and arrive Siko on time is most often because after I finish buying, I take the bike.
Yes.
I can take maybe 2 bikes or 3 bikes. I put some of the stuff. I go with some of these big bags.
Yes.
This and this is where I improvise now. I go with some of these big bags, these really, really big polythene bags.
Yes.
I put my stuff into them. All the stuff that I buy, I put them into them. At the end of the day, I might have about 4 or 5 big bags. And then I can put 2 on one bike, 2 on the other bike, and then I carry 1 on the bike that I'm on.
Yeah.
You see, so that's how I'm able to deal with this challenge. It makes it better for me because I don't have to. I am solving the problem of traffic because even when there are many cars on the road,
that's another issue.
A bike can very easily navigate its way out of it. It can navigate its way to at least the park there at Bonaberry, where I can take a bus, and then from there it's easier to go to Tico. So that's the main thing. Secondly, another difficulty I would say, not specifically me, but a whole lot of business people face. I don't think our ecosystem here is friendly. It's too business friendly. I don't think it's exactly business friendly. I think the government, I think that the local councils even, I don't want to talk at the level of the government, I want to talk at the level of the local council, because I think at that level it's more realistic. They can do more as compared to the government, which is a distance away. I think at the level of local council, they should try to really approach business people to understand what exactly the challenges are that business people are facing. I think it would help. It would go a long way in helping. It would go a long way in helping.
Okay. So, if you were to advise a young man to a young lady who is wanting to venture into business, and like buying and selling, the way companies say buy and sell, they want you to involve, and they have a capital, let's say 100,000. Let me not go far. What line of business will you advise? For instance, is there any particular line of business that you feel that you can recommend?
You have a capital of 100,000.
Let's take it up if that's too slow. Let's say 500.
I think that's low, primarily because you will need time to study the business.
Yeah.
And if you're going into it with just 100,000, how are you going to be feeding?
I get it.
How are you going to be feeding? How are you going to be paying your house rent?
What if the 100,000 is apart from?
Apart from
your other expenses.
Okay. In that case, I would say, but even before doing anything like that, because there is this thing Nigerians do, which I think Cameroonians should explore more.
Apprenticeship.
Before you see a Nigerian, an Igbo man opening his own business shop, he has been under someone else. Most often his Igbo brother. He has been under him and he has studied the business. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how to balance his books. He knows how to do that particular line of business. Where to get products from. He has already been connected. His Oga has already connected him. That okay, this is the person who supplies us. This is how you do this business. This is how he has already gone through all that training. So he is not going into an area that is ignorant of. He has already studied the terrain. He knows that this is how, and he has already created relationship. Very important. Wow. Very important.
Networking and relationship.
Networking, very important. Because at the end of the day, with these relationships, there are some things that his Oga will not have. His Oga will refer him, okay, I have this person who is equally selling this kind of thing. You can go to him and check. His other Igbo brothers too can also say, oh, I have this, my brother who is selling this kind of thing. Give me a minute, let me go and get it from him. All of that, he has built this kind of relationship. And that's another area where the Igbos, they beat Cameroonians by far. The Igbos are really supportive of each other. They have that Ubuntu kind of, that Ubuntu kind of spirit. I want to see my brother grow. No. My brother's success is my success. If he's on top today, I will also enjoy. So they have that kind of mentality, and it's really good. Unfortunately, you don't see that very much in Cameroon. Even the big guys on top, most of them want to support. They want to be the only ones on top. They are doing everything to suppress the other ones and all of that. I don't know if it's inferiority complex or what, but
it's mostly about that.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, I don't understand. But I don't think it's a good spirit. I think we should be more supportive of each other. In doing that, we are helping ourselves. Because the same way you support another person today, tomorrow that's how that other person will support another person just like that, and that's how together we grow as a community and as a people. And definitely it's very important. It's very important that we try to look into this. We try to support each other. We try to come together to do things. Yeah.
Wow, I think you have raised a very, very, very important point here. Yeah. And I would just like to make a little briefing of it, which is an apprenticeship before going into a business.
Very, very important.
When I see all those people who go and be posting on social media, I have this, I want to go into a business, recommend. When you have no idea about the business, you know that you're already starting.
People on social media, what kind of advice? How many of those people on social media are running businesses? How many of them can give you any?
That's very dangerous.
Yes, that's very dangerous advice. The worst kind of advice you can take is from someone who, because there are some advices that sound smart and good, but they are not practical. You understand?
Yes.
Take for instance, you read on social media about feminism.
Yeah.
You read that, okay, by feminism, men and women are equal, blah, 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 blah. That's true. That's feminism. And that's right. But for someone who wants to get married from an African community, especially from a Cameroonian community, it would make sense to explore the Cameroonian ecosystem and understand how it works here. Why? Because the feminists on social media can tell you equality. But hey, we have an ecosystem, we have a history,
we have a culture,
we have our own culture. You understand that all of these variables involved in the picture, which feminism does not necessarily take into consideration. Because we must understand something. Feminism is essentially a Western concept.
Good.
It's not African. It's not exactly African. I'm not saying that in Africa we have the mindset that women are inferior to men. No. Not in that sense. Exactly. But women in times past, before the colonial era, women had their own roles, their own distinct roles, separated from men. There was nothing like competition and all of that. You know that? Because we are in a totally different time. We are dealing with different variables.
Yes.
Christianity has come with its own mindset that, okay, the woman is supposed to submit to the man and all of that. In our own cultures, before the advent of Christianity in Africa, women were already submissive. A man had a place, but it was not about suppressing women or.
It's not suppression.
Yeah, it's not suppression or anything of that nature. It was more about a man has his place, a woman has his place. Men have their
went to hunts,
yes.
They protected their wives.
Then the woman, she had a separate place in the family. His own place was to protect his family, provide for his family and all of that. The woman had a place to take care of the family, to nourish the family, to be there for the family and all of that. They had their separate places. There was nothing of this one is superior, this one is inferior. It was just about, okay, this man has his place, this woman has his place. There was no competition. It was a framework built on understanding. It was a framework built on understanding. But now colonialism has come and it has taken our cultures, upsetted the whole thing, and now we are dealing with so many variables that it's difficult to even fathom. At the end of the day, you read on social media that, okay, by feminism, we are all equal and all of that, and then
you want to apply in your home.
You want to apply
in your
home. Yes, the man is feeling like, hey, this woman is challenging my authority in his house. All of those kind of things. So it brings a whole lot. Blindly embracing any ideology is very dangerous. Always look at your context, understand your context, and understand that, like I, for instance, I'm a feminist. Even if I were to end up with a feminist girl tomorrow, I would still know that, hey, I'm in a particular ecosystem. This girl probably was raised to believe that it's a man's duty to provide for his woman. So I will not be there thinking we are going to do 50-50. My brother,
it's not practical.
It's not practical in our own context because we were not raised like that. We were raised with the mindset that a man is supposed to take care of his woman. Even if the woman is supporting, the man should be the main person
providing.
And that's the mentality that the average woman has too. And even some of these feminists, I see them on social media. These female feminists who talk about equality, and then at the end of the day, you see them under another comment section the same person is saying that, oh, any man who wants to do 50-50 with me, blah 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 blah, it's not money, blah 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 blah. And then at the end of the day, you start with it.
They're contradicting.
You're contradicting yourself. Is this thing equality or is not equality? I saw a particular feminist commenting under the post of someone who is quote unquote patriarchal, and the person was praising this person's ideas. Why? Because it favored women. You see? So what I've understood is some of these people, they criticize patriarchy where it disfavors them. So they want the good aspect. It's not like they are totally against patriarchy. They love the aspect. They want to hold on to the aspect that favor them, and then where it does not favor them, that's where they apply feminism. So you see, all these things you have to take into consideration. You have to be realistic. I say a lot of our women of the present generation are women who are patriarchal men who are feministic. That is, they want a man who will take the lead, who will provide for his family, who will cover his family and all of that. But then that same man should see them as an equal, and that same man should treat them as an equal. But that's contradictory essentially. It will take a really smart person to be able to balance the two, this contradictory perspective. Because if I see you as an equal, why should I always be the one to take the lead? My brother, we are equal. It does not matter who takes the lead. You want to buy a car for 4 million, you are bringing 2. I'm bringing 2. That is it. There is no I am the man, you are the woman. So if you're talking feminism, let's just go with this equality. That's what feminism is about. Taking the aspect of gender out of the picture. We are equal. You understand? But in our own context, we have a culture. You know, we have our own sociology. We have our own ecosystem. You know, it's different from that of the West. The West, they might talk about feminism and they are talking of equality. But yeah, my brother, a lot of these feminists will not even date a man here in this Africa whom they are taking care of. They will see it as problematic. They will say this man is not man enough. But if we are truly equals and I can take care of you when you don't have, why would it be problematic for you to take care of me when I don't have? You see all these things, but I understand them. I'm not criticizing these feminists. I'm just saying there is a framework that most often we don't take into consideration. We don't look at this invisible framework. We have our own culture. Take for instance, the reason why one of the reasons actually why a lot of African leaders get to power and they don't want to leave is because democracy is not an African thing. This thing was forced on us by the West. We don't know this thing. We have an ecosystem. We have our own culture, and in our own cultures, in our chiefdoms, fondoms, and all of that, there is nothing like democracy. There's a particular man who stays in power for years. That is an African thing. You see, so we can try with all these Western, but at the end of the day, if we are to truly advance, we must take into consideration our own ecosystem. It's very important we take into consideration our own ecosystem. It's absolutely important.
Wow, that's very interesting. We're going to have a short break, and when we come back, we're going to explore other issues, other topics. Like you see, we have been talking about feminism, we've been talking about business, we've been talking about patriarchy, we've been talking about even democracy, and so many other topics will be coming up. So sit right back, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it to help someone, and see you in a bit. Let's see how far it has gone.
Okay.